Jess, you want to hear my story?
Yes, I would love to hear your story.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Matt. This is Dr. Sarah. We are live. It is working. I don't know why it wasn't working. So here's my story about grief. My dad died on Sunday,
Yes.
and my dad died the day of our first stream.
Also true.
And I really wanted this to start because I really needed to take a break from standing over my dad's dead corpse. That's true. I mean, you know, it's weird. I know, Chelsea, it's true. It's true. She's laughing, but I mean, he died, and we went to the hospital, and you have to stay there with the dead person for two hours. Oh, everybody's. By the way, ambient noise. That's a little thing. Next time we're gonna be in a room where. Can you go tell him that he's bleeding in?
Bro.
Yeah, I that's a tough one for me. I cannot stand it.
It's not bleeding or like seeping. It's like Kool-Aid Man.
I mean, now that I said online that my dad died, I just want you to know. Well, no, I want you to know how I feel right now is extremely stressed and intolerant. More of how everything's gone on the stream than like all of the. I can't stand all of the anarchy here because so far every time we've done it, it's been none.
Right.
So and I want you to know that when the streams start, other than let's say right now, I'm going to talk a lot less. But I'm going to say this is my moment.
Yeah.
So I do have funny stories about grief. I mean, I think I do. So we waited 2 hours for the chaplain to come because you can't release. And I don't know if this is funny, but I just want you to know that in today's society, if you want somebody's iPhone to unlock, you have to pick their dead hand up and swipe it on the fingerprint scanner to unlock it.
It's true. It was such a
there's
true
the peanut
story.
gallery.
Isn't it fucked up?
That's good. We have a live studio
But
audience.
We have a live studio.
That's exactly what happened.
So.
Right.
Chelsea dryly went, we need a laugh track. In the most,
Right.
I'm not laughing.
Right. Who needs a laugh track?
I mean, I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, my I don't know if this is the funniest, but top funny story is I got a text from my cousin. I called him back. I'm like, hey Justin, and I just unloaded 15 minutes of me just unloading, and I really am close with him, and it felt good to unload. And then he went, and I said, look, you can come stay here with me. And he said, well, my mom still has a house here. And I went, your mom has a house in Vegas? And he goes, yeah. And then he finally said the thing that I didn't want him to say. He said, this is Justin Finkelstein. It was not my cousin. After 15 minutes of me unloading like my freaking life.
And it wasn't
him.
Your cousin.
No. So that happened, and
That wasn't even like, that was like,
I don't know who Justin Finkelstein is.
no, Justin Finkelstein is not my husband. I mean, not my cousin. Not my cousin. Sorry.
Or your husband.
Or my husband. No.
Right.
So
Now we know. Rule
Yeah.
out.
yeah. So that was a good one. I mean, what's funny? I don't know. I mean,
Repository.
I'm sorry.
Repository.
I don't think that's funny.
Oh well, it's not funny, but yeah. It's,
So much
So
tension.
as it turns out, grief's not that funny.
No. I think there's humor in it. But hold on. My wife is off camera telling me to tell you that my sister said to the funeral person at Palm Mortuary that they should take my dad's ashes and put it in a suppository and shove it up my mom's ass. Now, I don't think that's funny, but I will say.
That's the reaction.
Right.
That's appropriate.
But I will say that that's their way of dealing with grief is using shock humor.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Do I think it's funny? I'll say this. I think it isn't talked about.
Right. No, people don't talk about death.
And I think that when I go to a funeral and people bring up the funny things about the person that died, it's the best way to get me to grief. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is funny, but like this is what happened today. This is funny. My wife has this thing with coveting. So she wants everything that I have. She wants a piece of it. She came from like a very like impoverished, not like they weren't like dirt poor, but they weren't like extravagant rich family. So she covets what I get. And I had this whole thing Again, you're gonna say this isn't funny because it's probably not that funny, but
Probably not
it's
funny,
it's
right.
it might be interesting.
I'm waiting for it to be funny.
Listen,
Okay.
can I just tell you a little secret? Can I tell you a little secret between you and me? You
Yeah.
can put the microphone on me. No, you pretend mic. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the stream is working at this point.
Oh, and that's funny, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not saying it's funny.
Yeah, I'm happy too.
There's a little snark going on. Too.
Yeah.
Am I
Well, what's-
snarky?
No, it's snarky.
Do you
it's
feel
good.
bad that I'm not delivering the funny?
No, you can be you, however
Okay.
you need to be. But what I do think is funny is that, like, the first day that we did it after your dad died, it was about
It was on the day my dad died. I think.
right on the day that your dad died. It was a distraction,
Right.
Something that was funny, and then the next day, it was also something funny, distraction,
Mhm.
and then today, I was thinking like, oh, we should talk about grief at some point.
Right.
And then you're like, we're going to talk about it today. And I was like, I'm excited.
Oh, so you didn't think it was a good idea?
Well, I didn't think it was a bad idea, but I didn't think it was. If you want to talk about it, that's your prerogative. But it's not funny.
Right. Well, right now we have one viewer, so it doesn't
Is
matter.
it Jeffy from the kitchen?
I don't know. But I mean, it's not sounding very funny, but we also are getting comfortable on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I like the cues. I'll make you this deal. I'm gonna just tell this last story, and then you decide where you'd like it to go.
Okay.
Cause so my wife covets things.
Right.
We had one time we had a family meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I took this very, very amazing communication class. And one of the rules of the communication class I took is whatever your truth is your truth. It
Right.
doesn't matter if I think it's true, it's your truth.
Right. Also true.
So we had this meeting, and my daughter said, hey, I have this sesame Japanese dressing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really want anyone to take it because I really like it.
Right.
And my wife raised her hand, she went, I'm gonna take it. And when I looked at her, I was like, you're gonna take the dressing? And she goes, yeah, I'm gonna. And we were like, okay, well, what if we get you your own dressing? I said, will you still take it? And she paused and went, yeah, I'm still gonna do it. And then we went, wow. So what if we got you two dressings, and my daughter has one? And then she went, oh, that's a good, I'll probably not take it then.
Yeah.
I'll probably
I'll
not.
have enough.
So then I got her a t-shirt with the two dressings on it for
Yeah.
Christmas. She's like, yeah, that's two. Right? So she's got a thing with coveting, right? So in the thing with the death of my dad, my whole family's like, are you gonna grieve? Are you gonna grieve? Right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Right.
They were like, you gonna grieve? And so I got really like walled up. Like I don't like when people. I'm gonna put your arm out. If somebody grabbed me and went, oh, do you want ice cream?
Yeah.
I would be like, don't grab my arm,
Yeah.
even though I really want the ice cream.
Right. And I hate ice cream
you
now.
Put your arm
Right.
down. Good prop though.
Yeah.
So I don't like when people force it. So in my family, standing over my dad's body, like, you're gonna cry? I'm like, no, I will never cry, right?
Mhm.
And of course it's coming out in bits and pieces, right?
Mhm.
So today I asked my mom for a ring, for my dad's ring, and
Mm-hmm.
she brought it to me. This is the ring.
Wow.
We have 0 viewers. Anyway, so
But it's recording.
grieving's not funny. So anyway, so I said to my mom, hey, there's this ring my dad has.
Mhm.
I wonder if you could please bring it.
Mhm.
And I thought, what a good ask, right? It's not like, can you give me money?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't want money.
Also, we accept money.
Just $10?
Right. Yeah.
My friendship.
Right.
Yeah, you want to talk shit
$10.
about it, you gotta bring it back. 'cause it's fun,
$10.
you know what I'm saying?
$10 will buy Matt's friendship.
Chelsea just gave a laugh.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's
Get outta here, you
she's
talk
shitting on the
shit.
grief topic. She's
Right.
shitting on, man, get to the grief, forget the funny.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Can you guys like move in? I can't even Instagram this.
Oh, we're
Like, can you
doing
act
that
like you
wrong.
like each other and you're
we do. You know why we're
Show?
not? Can I tell you why we're not off
Yes.
camera, Chelsea?
Please.
Because there's a chair in the middle that we were
I mean,
reserving.
I'm well aware of why.
Oh,
It's for our
Lordy.
guests.
All right, I'll move on.
Okay.
Doesn't.
Cool. Now I
No, let's just do this. Okay, so we'll move if somebody comes back.
Great.
You
So
wanna
finishing
know
the
the
sto-
funny part? Okay,
Hold
finish
on.
the story.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we talk about this before we got here? We talked about this. All right, let me finish.
You
So
asked for the ring.
yeah, so I asked for the ring, And in addition to the ring, she gave me this little box, and it had my necklace in it from when I was like 13, and all these charms. And they kept it for me because they knew I'd lose it, because I would.
Wow, and you get it now. Did they give it to you, or did they continue to keep
She
it?
gave me a box, and in the box was this ring and the necklace.
That's
And
really
I
nice.
looked at the ring and started crying. And as I was crying, my wife went, "Can I have the necklace?" And I started. We got more. This is your last stream. So show us the necklace.
Val, wife of
It's
Matt,
over.
is no longer allowed to be
No,
in the
it's
same
over.
vicinity.
Because I warned her. I said, "Don't do what you're doing.
This
She
is
can't
really
help
nice.
herself."
You
Yeah, so
wanna know
she.
why I wanted to wear it?
No, I don't want no. That's the voice. You're starting to hear it come. You want to know what there's a backstory?
Yeah.
No. She hands me the ring, and I'm like, there's two sides of my brain. One side goes, "This is your moment to grieve. It's okay to grieve." And I start crying, and my wife goes, "I want to wear the necklace." And then the voice goes, "This is not the time. I guess it's not." And I was like,
Zip it up.
I was like, "Why?" And she goes, "I'll tell it better than." She goes, "No, you know why I want to wear it?" And I went, "No, why?" "I want to be closer to you."
Yeah. Coveting.
I was just like, "Be less close.
Yeah.
Go away with the close." So, all right. So that's a funny grief story.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Only
go ahead.
because of the Val voice.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the fact that you would lose it.
Val's raising her hand some more. What's Val?
Yes?
What's up?
The funny story is when you tell me, you gotta run for Pappy, or you gotta run because my dad died. And I'm like, running and he's sobbing at the same time. That is fucking funny.
No, you're right. Maybe we should change the topic.
You want to know? You want to know what else could have the potential to be funny about grief?
What?
Is grief rage. You know?
Tell me about that.
It's when you know, like people that like cut you off in traffic, or like they're really pissed and you meet them at like the bank, or like you don't know them and you're like, why are they so mad? Because somebody they love probably just died.
Sure.
And you don't know that, you take it personally, whatever the case is. However, when you experience grief rage and you're really in it, I also like to laugh at my rage moments afterwards because they're so ridiculous.
Sure.
You know?
It's like the same anger you have when you do road rage. It's like it
Right.
doesn't make any sense for you to get out and go beat somebody up or
No, but you want to.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say something nice about my wife, but I'm gonna tell the story in my way, which is this. So, I think my dad died from poor eating. And what I decided that came out of it since Sunday is I worked out Monday and Tuesday, and I'm overweight, but I'm still like working out. And so today we were at the gym, and I will admit that when you work out, it gets all your emotions up. You start thinking about like the sadness. And my wife and I work out, which has been really great for us, but she doesn't like to go out and run. And the trainer is like a really nice guy, but he's also very male, but not like alpha male. He's probably, in all of my travels, the perfect blend of like male energy without it being like in your face, because that's my,
This is a trainer?
yeah,
Is he single?
there's a, let me
You
tell
know
you
what?
this.
He's not.
I don't know.
He's
Let's go
hot.
find out.
Is he happy?
And Matt thinks he's
Just
hot.
kidding.
Sidebar, but I mean.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, I'm mad at her.
Let's ask her the
And she's
question,
doing the Val voice.
though. What?
I think that's her voice.
She's sidebar. I'm just saying, it's
Yeah.
just sidebar. You think
He's hot.
So anyway, he's a great, because I think of most. I'll show you a picture of him.
Well,
I'll
no,
show
he's
you right
not.
now.
Yeah, but he's not single
I know, but we're painting a picture, and nobody's watching. So
yet.
Yet. How do people find this? If I post this on Instagram, this is Twitch. They just search wellness and weirdos on Twitch.
yes, it's. I can give you the link. Can you give me a minute? Before, I'm sorry. I'm just. There's a lot going on
Yeah,
right now.
okay.
So the reason I want to show you this though, mostly is just I want to know if you agree if he's good looking.
You can just say talk show coming soon, wellness and weirdos. If you post it on
That's a
Instagram.
good idea.
That's what I had, but I was thinking a link to
Don't
see.
send him to Twitch. Then they'll see all the people. I recognize that woman.
No, not that we're looking for the dude. Yeah, that's him.
Oh, he's like super not single. He's kids
Yeah,
crawling on
yeah.
him.
We're not
Oh,
setting
he's
you
got,
up
like,
with him.
5
We're just
kids.
talking
Yes,
about
he's an
him.
attractive person, but his
So-
family's lovely.
Okay, I'm not saying you should go steal him.
I have great boundaries. I can't even look
Fair
at him
enough.
like a piece of meat if he's
Wow.
married. It's a problem.
Ladies and gents, we've learned something. So my point is, my wife and I are going to the gym, trying to be healthy.
Right.
She doesn't like to run,
Mhm.
and I said to her today, with kind of the influence of the trainer, I was like, "Hey, why don't you run? Let's do a little bit extra."
Mhm.
You know, my dad, he just died. I throw that in there.
Right.
I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah.
It helps.
Right.
I'm like, "Can I get some lemonade?" They're like, "I just sat down." I'm like, "My dad died."
They're like
DD.
fresh lemonade or
Dad,
See,
yeah.
I think
Dad
that
dead
is funny.
card.
Yeah.
Dad dead card is funny.
Mhm.
So, so Val, what I love about my wife, not necessarily a lot of the stuff that's happening right now, but what I typically love about her is she's authentic.
Yes.
Whatever she feels comes right out,
Mhm.
which is good.
Right.
So I said, "Hey, why don't you run? You know, my dad died and I want us to be healthy, so come run."
Mhm.
I know you don't usually. And I did grab her,
Mhm.
like in a loving way. I was
Right.
like, "Let's go." And she's running and I'm like, "This is good." I can see her like way behind. Plus, little side note, somebody's slower than me, which is awesome
Mhm.
because I'm always the little blast. And I turn around and I do all the way to the corner and I come back and as I'm running, you know, she's still running that way and then she keeps sobbing while she's crying.
Oh.
So then now I'm worried that the trainer somehow who encouraged her to run is going to think it's his fault. That's so Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So then I got to have a moment
You
with
Larry
him.
David it.
And I gotta go, "Hey, my dad just died." He's like, "Oh man." And by the way, the reason that he may not be popping off the page to you,
Mhm.
he's got a smolder voice too. "Come on, guys, you can do it." Like, and he's not putting it on. He's just got a gravel voice. I mean, he
Like
can't
Joe Rogan?
sing. I'd say his voice sexier than Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan has a trucker voice,
I just
but he
think
has a sexy voice.
he's got a masculine voice without sounding too obnoxious. Joe Rogan.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He doesn't
Yeah.
sound like "How you doing?"
Right.
He's more like "How you doing?"
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So my point is, Val's he's sobbing, and
Mhm.
I have to look at the trainer and go, "My dad just died."
Mhm.
Oh man, and give me a nice hug. Gives Val a hug, and then I'm just gonna say the shitty thing about Val. We can move on. Didn't run again.
Yeah.
I did my turn.
I
You
did.
know, and I cried.
I,
So she's great to work out with. I'm doing it. I got it. I mean, there's been some funny grief conversations.
Mountain climbers and crying and just random shit.
I came out of the bathroom. I was like, I grief pooed. There's a lot of grief
Right.
in there.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah. He griefs poop. Yeah, he poops and griefs.
that's nice.
so
Right?
anyway,
That's funny too.
my
So.
point is, Chelsea's so disengaged.
Oh yeah.
Because no one was.
Oh, yeah.
And-
I mean, it's sad though because no one wants to talk about it, and then it's thrusted upon you, and then no one's ready for it.
Right. It's true.
But we can't talk about it.
And
I mean, we
grief,
can.
it's
Oh, the answer is it's not funny.
Also
That's
true.
the answer of the question of this whole podcast, or
Right.
this podcast, the streamcast.
Yeah.
Stream.
Um.
Don't you think it would be great for somebody grieving though to jump on and go, "I'm grieving," and it's really
Yeah,
hard.
I would
But
like
maybe
that.
people that are grieving don't want to text and they don't want to.
Yeah, you don't really want to do much.
But you
should.
never know what people want to do.
That's true. It depends on like where they're at.
I went
What
to
they do.
therapy,
Mhm.
and my therapist leaned in and went, "You're irritated." I was like, "I am,"
Uh-huh.
because I want my family. I want what's best for my family, but they're,
Yes.
I mean, you can imagine if my sister's going to say, "Put his ashes in a suppository at
Mhm.
the funeral home,"
Right.
what I'm dealing with.
Right.
I'm dealing with a lot of personalities.
Mhm.
And you know what else I'm trying to do? I'm trying to be really gracious. So I think I know what's best, but when they don't listen to me, I'm really trying hard to be like, "You're right, maybe it isn't best."
Mhm.
That takes some work.
Yeah.
Like, I will say one of the 3 things of life, not that anybody wants to listen to me, but I want to say, it's don't say "I told you so." Saying "I told you so" is never, there's no scenario where
In
that
any
works
context,
out.
yeah.
No. So Chelsea, what I'd love for you to do is grab that camera and push it forward, because if they see more Dr. Sarah and less me, we're going to get more viewers. There you go. Now, also, just grab the camera and tilt it down just a hair. Yeah. Now, bring it back now.
yeah,
Bring it
that
back.
was more than. There's a
There
whole
it
head
is.
here.
I love it.
Yay.
Okay, so we can do a recap of everything and then kind of refresh mentally. I don't want to touch the screen.
Right. We're just gonna let it keep streaming.
Yeah, I just want to do a mental refresh.
Okay.
And we can I think I've learned how to change the
I'm
top.
refreshed.
I think I can change the topic
I was just
on
gonna
my
say.
phone.
Can I say something?
We have Val from the
Yeah,
audience.
Val from the audience for her last
Val, what do you
appearance
have to
wants
say?
to say something. So go
I
ahead.
would say first questions,
Mhm.
funny questions and stuff. I'm gonna reiterate funny questions, banter, blah blah blah, and then you go into whatever it is.
So we didn't make our grief sandwich.
Yes, and what happens
The
is
grief
nobody
is the
wants to
salami.
bite the first sandwich, bite the first piece because it's pungent,
Right,
it's strong,
right. It's true.
right?
Yes.
So you kind of want to ease with the That's why I said banter, questions, and
Mhm.
then you go into the serious kind of like
Right.
that didn't happen.
We did our best.
That didn't happen.
Right.
Welcome.
That
You're
didn't happen.
you're
Yeah.
getting to see a lot of
Sorry.
things that I've talked about. I changed our thing to just chatting.
Oh, was there a grief tag?
It
On
said
Twitch.
grief. Is that funny?
I know,
As the
I was just
title.
kidding.
Oh.
Oh, also not funny.
I just
Dr.
want
Sarah.
to no. I just want to reiterate what my wife said, and that didn't happen. There's no grief, Sammy. Okay, so there was something that you said earlier. Oh yeah. So you were giving me the boundaries of the three things that you want to talk about, and I'm not doing it to taunt you into saying that. That doesn't excite me, nor does the suppository thing we talked about a second ago. But what I wanted to know is, you're excited about doing our real interview.
Mhm.
What's funny is the interview show is only going to be what we're already doing, but with a little more production value.
Well, no, I'm talking about what I told you earlier as just period between like practice or real life stuff.
Huh?
What I said before about
Which
my
part?
boundaries is for practice and for the real interviews.
I got that. I was moving on from that. I don't even know why I brought that up. My point was.
I was like, we just said don't talk about it.
No, we're not going to. My point was you're thinking about the show a lot,
Oh, of course.
and that was all I was saying. It's like you're thinking about it. So I was like, we're moving forward,
Mhm.
and then I was like, and then I was kind of tangenting my thought to say, all we're doing now is the same thing we're gonna do with less production value.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I would say. And then I'm
Mhm.
kind of getting you. I'm really just talking about talking, like, cause
Meta talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're meta talking to say. So Dr. Sarah is a doctor of.
I'm a mental health professional. I'm a therapist.
You know, I'm going to say this, and by the way,
PhD.
ladies and gents watching, and the one viewer that we have that isn't commenting, which is fine. My wife is in the room with what I'm about to say,
Mhm.
so I don't think there's going to be a problem. Chelsea Genevieve, half listening. So here's what that is. Should I say the
Did you
last
just
name?
middle name me?
Last name, yeah, a doctor. A doctor.
Yeah.
Her social security is.
Yeah.
Which is this: is it hard because you're a attractive woman? Being a doctor, you have to prove that you're a doctor.
Every day.
That's fucking horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like such subtle sexism.
Subtle? It's like overt. When I used to work in Texas, people would come in and
Did they tell you you had a pretty mouth?
that happened one time in the middle of Texas. But they didn't even know I was the doctor.
That
but
was
they,
yesterday's really fun show when
Yeah.
Chelsea was on it.
And they would come in and they would hand who was the same level in school as me, but they would talk to him about their problems and they would hand me their coat. And I was like,
Wait, I was watching Chelsea's face when I made that, and I did
Mhm.
not listen to the build-up of that. So I want you to repeat it again. Hold on. I was watching Chelsea's face. She was like, "Yeah, you need me on this."
we would meet
Oh,
families
Uh huh.
for like group therapy stuff when I worked in a treatment center.
Uh huh.
And the families sometimes would come in and they would shake the men's hands and look at me and hand me their coat or like any paperwork.
They thought you were the secretary.
Right. Or sometimes I would get that I was like my boss's like wife. Like the only way that she's here is because she's with him.
I know what I want to do. I just figured something out. It's
Okay.
not about grief, everybody.
Good and
I'd like you to show me what you do when they hand you the coat. And I'd like you, off-camera person, to text Maya and get an update on what's going on from her, because she might be bringing girls to the house. And I'm probably going to leave her around 1:30, but if you could just text to make sure that things are going well. Okay, back to you. I'm the dad.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're here for the family therapy. So where is the doctor? When do we get started? How's that work?
I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Oh.
Or I would hand it to my
Oh, you would do that.
male
You would
colleague.
say,
I
I
would
thought you
hand
meant
it-
me, Matt. You
No,
didn't
I would hand it to my male colleague and be like, you can hold this for them.
And then would they know that they offended you?
No, they don't really care because I had to prove myself. So after I helped them, one time I had this dad in my office and he said to me, he was like, I don't usually like it when girls, act like they're swinging, which means like act like I have a dick,
So
And I was-
dad said that to you?
Yeah, and he's like, but like you have a really firm handshake, but I really respect you because you've done a lot for my family.
You know what I think?
This is Texas.
I think in his own weird way, that was the best
It was a
compliment
really nice
for
compliment.
him. For him.
But I was like, man, it sucks for.
Well, I mean, this is
His
a
daughter, his
tangent,
wife,
and
his
I don't want to
family, it's
offend our
lucky him.
zero viewers.
That's Texas though.
I don't want to offend our zero viewers, but I will say this. I'm 50. And I've always thought, I've always criticized older people
Mhm.
for the fact that they're racists and then they go different generation, right? I've always felt like
You
it's
really
such a
started talking about this?
shitty. Oh,
Mhm.
you want to talk about grief? I do not.
No.
I was just reiterating.
Hard no.
His phone open with the thumb. I was just like, wow.
I know.
Anyway, so you get these older people and they're like total racist, dropping racist words and everything else,
Mhm.
and I thought it was horrible, right? And then, I've always felt that way. And then I'm 50, and then there are new things coming up
Mhm.
that I wasn't used to, and I'm like, ugh.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm turning into that person.
Yeah. Do you get the generation pass?
Do you want me to tell you what it is? Because it's gonna really blow. What's funny is we figured out how to save the streams,
Right.
and B, when I say this, we will not want to save it, but I'm going to.
What are you gonna say?
Something that I struggle with, and it's a generation issue on the nose. I'm gonna talk about I struggle with noses.
Are you? You could tell.
No, what?
What are you gonna say?
No, what do you think
I'm
I'm gonna say?
interested. I'm ready.
What does the nose mean?
This means I'm thinking.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, because the reason that I was confused is I know people that go, "You got it on the nose." That's what I thought you meant. Oh, this means
Oh.
you're thinking.
No, it's.
I don't understand
I
your
don't
body
realize I'm
language
doing
yet,
that.
Dr. Sarah.
Right. I'm like, okay.
I thought you meant I'm like a nosist.
No.
That's a charade.
Oh,
No, that sounds like, for
Mhm.
fuck's sake,
sounds
No,
like.
but what is that?
on the
That's
nose.
charade.
Mhm.
I struggle with pronouns
Oh.
because there's definitely pronoun-y stuff
Mhm.
going on.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I don't want to.
Mhm.
No, you know what? I'm not saying I won't,
Mhm.
but I don't want to at times. And I've talked to my daughter who's 21, and she goes, "Why not?
Right.
Why can't you just say it?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, my resistance is there, and I'm like, oh, you're just like 2 generations prior to the racists.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Right.
But it's tough. So pausing that, I want to go back to the therapy and then the hanging out because we do an hour on that.
Mhm.
Okay. And Val, we'll bring you in and re-interview you.
One more thing I was thinking about, I think about this every day though, about how people pull cards for things, like, oh, it's a generational gap, like all of a sudden it gives them a free pass to be shitty, or people do it with culture a lot too. Like, oh, like, well, you don't like people that are different religions than you and a sexual minority and a different color, but it's like a cultural thing, so like it's totally okay. Or like, oh, like, you treat your partner really poorly and like yell at them and like don't let them work or leave the house, but it's a cultural thing, so to oppress women. Like, you put her in your basement too, is that also cultural? Like, cool. That kind of shit
So
pisses me
people,
off.
when they say it's a cultural thing and it's still a heinous act, you get very frustrated.
It's really annoying. Like, it doesn't give somebody a free pass to be a shit person because they like they're. I don't care.
Really?
You know.
Because what I learned in kind of like development, because we talked about development
Mhm.
stuff, is culture is what dictates everything.
Yes.
And how we judge things it defines it in our culture.
Mhm.
So it's like, you know,
Culture matters, but I don't think that culture trumps humanity.
good point.
So my question to you is, if I tell you something my therapist told me in session, am I betraying her trust in some way?
No. Not at all.
Nothing she says is off limits. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, you can. She
I
can't
won't
talk about you.
Right, but I won't say who she is in name. I
You
don't
could
want
if
to.
you wanted to, but
I don't, because I'm going to take a little jab at her, and it has to go back with the hat.
Mhm.
I don't even think I've ever told this to my wife. So we were in like our beginning session, and I was like this and like that, and she's like, I don't know if she asked me if like I had an issue, and I was like, with what? And she basically was very gently, and I'm even going to say appropriately, you could have filmed it, referring to the fact that she was attractive.
Mhm.
Do I have an issue with it? And it was a good way she said it, talking about females. I forgot how we got there, but I thought it was interesting because you were saying like, you know, is this going to be a problem? And she's very blunt about it in a way that made me like, no, and it really isn't. You know, it was like, are you going to objectify me?
Right.
I think that's where she's very like strong, owns the business and all that. So, you know, and I was like, no, and but it's sad that a woman has to do that.
Right.
I feel like it's sad, and this reminds, I feel like I'm being like an old partner of yours where I'm like challenging everything. But I will say this. I'm going to give men some kind of grace in one way.
Oh, we have a comment.
Oh. Oh, bro.
Does he want to take the
R Noam, welcome. I know we're just going, but we totally love when anybody says anything relevant to any of our discussions or just relevant to Dr. Sarah, who is a doctor of
Mental.
I'm a mental health professional. So I got my doctorate in marriage and family therapy, which doesn't speak to what I do, and then it's
Arkansas,
a
North America.
45-minute conversation.
That's what he wrote.
So
I didn't interrupt you.
excellent. No, that's better than what I have to share. I really hate when people like it's. I have a PhD in mental health.
I think that's a problem.
That I hate talking about it.
No, because as we do this stream, people are we're gonna have to say that a lot.